During this brief video I'm going to give you some instructions on how to add an item to the new Matthew Flinders calendar. The first thing to do is to open up and log into My Flinders. Once in My Flinders you will notice that we have a link here called Staff. Now within that Staff link there is another link called Calendars. If I click on this, what you will see is the new Matthew Flinders calendar. This has a number of advantages that the old calendar didn't have, including the ability to filter out those items that are less relevant to the user, and also, using this link here, the ability to save this calendar to your own personal calendars. This of course will be of most significance to our parents. Now, to add an item to this calendar, what we need to do is to first of all log into our webmail. So if you are not already logged into your webmail, you can do this by clicking on this link here under the staff link called webmail. If I click on that, you'll be prompted to log in if you're not already logged in. Once logged in, you will see a number of links down the right hand side here, and also you will see mostly the same links across the top here. Now the one that we're after this time is actually the calendar link. If I click on calendar, what will open up is my personal Matthew Flinders calendar, and you can see that here displayed now. You will also notice, I'll just minimize this for a moment, you'll also notice that in this area here I've got my calendars, and I can make these calendars appear or disappear just simply by clicking on this. And so you'll notice now that my calendar is no longer visible, or I can make it reappear by simply clicking on the link. This is most beneficial when I have numerous calendars here and I may wish to view one rather than them all, and I can do that by simply either clicking on or off the link. Underneath this My Calendars area, if I just minimize that now, you will see an area called Other Calendars. If I open that area up, what you will see is the calendars that I have been given permission to edit. Now, when you open this area up, you may find only one or two calendars here, or perhaps you may find none. But if you've been authorized to add to the Matthew Flinders calendar, you should see some links here. Now, in order to add an item to the Matthew Flinders draft calendar, the process is as follows. Within the calendar page that you can see here, simply click in the area where you want the item to appear. So for example, if I had an item that was at 8 o'clock on Tuesday, the 11th of September, I would simply click in that 8 o'clock area. I would then click Edit Event, and then I would name the event. I would indicate the time, so 8 o'clock, and just for the sake of this exercise we'll say it's 8 to 9. Where, for the purposes of the exercise, I'll just say that this is in the lecture theatre, and then I would provide further information. Okay, please ensure that you provide enough detail in this description area to enable the user to have a good idea of what the event is about. Now, the next thing that I need to do is to categorize this event, and this is where this drop-down menu here becomes useful. You will see in this area the calendars or the categories that I've been given permission to edit. So if this was, for example, a Year 9 event, I would select the Year 9 calendar. I'm going to say, for example, however, that this is a whole college event, and so I'm going to select the draft whole college. Now, the last thing is attachments. If I have any documents that are relevant to this particular event that I would like to include with the calendar item, I can click this Add Attachment here, and it will enable me to attach that document to the calendar. That's very useful for the users should there be some useful documentation to go with this. So let's just do a quick recap. I've got the time, I've got the location, I've got the calendar category selected, and I've got the detailed information that's necessary to go with the calendar item. The last point that I would make is that if this was an all-day event, I would simply click this all-day box. Once this has been completed, just simply click Save and you're done. That item has now been added to the relevant calendar category within the draft calendar. The next step is the draft calendar will go through an approval process, and once approved it will then get transferred over to the actual final Matthew Flinders calendar that will then appear in this area here for our community to see.